adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. Most recently, you are up here in the ocean, north of Nausha, where you guys have set out on your ship towards the Snozen Protectorate. And you are currently in the process of trying to reclaim the Shantara Grove, deal with the Protectorate, and generally engage in solving the world's problems. To that end, you hopped aboard your claimed Josozai vessel and headed out. That's where we pick up, as you guys are on the seas. You look over, and there is a strange man at the helm of your ship. You guys are all waking up on one job on this ship. The man has pale skin and a very fancy hat. I will go ahead and show you his picture here. He's going to smile at you guys. Oh, come on. There he is. Bam. He looks at you. I'm the captain, and you're the crew. You look at the ship. It looks very familiar. You're going to look over the side to see if it's got the name called Abigail on the side. Do you grab her ankles while she looks over the side? Okay. Can I get an athletics check? The athletics check to hold on to her ankles, perfectly fine. Yeah, not hear you guys. What happened? 1 second. Let me figure out why we can't be heard. There it goes. All fixed. Okay. So, Heaven is looking over the side, trying to find out the name of the ship, being held by ankles. They were complaining about the fact that they have been drugged and woke up on the deck of the ship.
Do I see big letters on the front of the ship?
You guys never painted the name on the side of the ship. You guys just
No,
called it the
we didn't.
Oh,
Abigail.
it was already named the Agraville.
No, it wasn't. We chose that name.
No, there was 3 ships. One was the Abigail, another one was I'll show you the other
It was already named. We didn't name it. It was
You are
Oh,
correct.
that's
I'm sorry.
right.
This one
That's
was.
right.
I have crossed my wires. I apologize. The ship does say Abigail on the side.
Hey guys, it says Abigail on the side. Twilight, Can you pull me up
And we'll pull
now?
her back onto the board.
Okay.
Thank you.
Captain guy, what's your name?
Does it matter?
Unless you want to be called,
wanna
hey,
be
you.
Captain will suffice.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. Usually I'm the one that's at the helm.
You may be at the helm. You can pilot the ship. I'm tired of doing it anyway. Get to work.
How long have we been out to sea?
He smiles a little coolly. A day.
A whole day and we missed it?
Indeed.
Who put us on the ship?
That was my question, yeah.
A couple of the dock hands assisted me. It was not that difficult once you had been drugged.
What?
He smiles coolly. You were in association with my quarry.
who is your quarry?
And what do they do?
Perhaps she can tell you more. And he nods to his Slarin Shonazak.
It's Lauren. What did you do?
It's Lauren, you got some splaining.
Kevin looks at his outfit. She looks at it's Lauren. They're wearing the same colors.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Does Miss Lauren recognize this person?
You would need to roll a history check.
I shall help. I am proficient.
You do not recognize her.
Well, you need to try harder.
Think harder, it's Laura.
Amazing.
There is one reason I would suspect that someone would come to collect me. That is the reason that you are all already aware of.
I mean, do we even have provisions on this ship? I mean, I don't even remember getting ballista bolts or anything.
There are no ballista on board the ship anymore. We did not wish to be targeted by the Protectorate. So I removed the armaments and streamlined the vessel for speed.
And where are we going?
To the Protectorate.
So if we're supposed to be going to the Protectorate, don't we want to draw the Protectorate's attention so that we can get to the Protectorate faster?
He scowls a little bit. I do not wish the negative attention. I will be turning you into the nearest vessel.
What?
Yeah, about that one.
Dude, do you really, really want to do this? I mean, how much are they paying you to bring her in? What's the bounty on her head?
Enough that I do not wish to disclose, and enough that should you bother your insurrection against me, which I suspect you are about to try, it would be unfortunate. I know you intend to go to the Protectorate. Allow me to profit, and I will share it with you. Fair enough?
I want to know how much this profit would be.
Enough to make each of the others of you quite wealthy.
I don't know. He sure is starting to look a little bit like shark food to me.
Calm down, calm down. I'm certain we can come to an agreement somehow.
I'll call him shark bait.
Ooh-ha.
You can call me Captain.
Captain Sharkmate.
You gotta show some respect. I mean, seriously. But that being
I did. I called him Captain.
said,
He, before you go up to the wheel, Twilight, as you guys are trying to make fun of him, he will spin the wheel and tilt the ship. I need everyone to make athletics checks to hold their footing before they get knocked prone.
Or acrobatics.
Or acrobatics.
6 to 1, half a dozen.
So Lauren falls flat, Covet falls flat, Kiki falls flat, and Ayla holds her footing.
Yes.
Awen holds their footing as well. He smiles as half the party falls prone.
I mean, seriously, dude. Okay, we got the point. We've had this happen before. You are not the first. Really?
No,
Okay.
but at least I'll be successful.
That
that
being
too.
said, all right, look. The person who ultimately can make that decision of making this bargain is technically Islaren herself. That's her choice, whether she's willing to go with you
I want to know when we're
and make it
talking
easy.
to this guy.
Dude, hush. It's either we make it easy and Islaren allows this and we all profit, or it turns into something hard and we really don't want to do that, now do we? Guys, am I right or am I wrong here?
I don't know. How trustworthy is this?
Again,
Okay. This shark bait dude is not very trustworthy.
there is even an honor among pirates, is there not? Or
Not a pirate.
what? I mean, I was gonna say you're not. I was gonna say swashbuckler, bounty hunter.
Kidnapper.
Privateer, corsair.
That I like those words better. Thanks, Sis Lauren. Thanks.
Private contractor.
Whatever you are, it is
my
unsavory.
preference.
Well, just
Private
remember,
contractor.
a lot of the people that we know as pirates were quote unquote privateers.
Indeed.
So somebody commandeers our ship, drugs us, throws us on board, takes us out on the ocean sailing for a day, and then calls us crew, only to try and turn us over to the Protectorate that we were going for our own way anyway. Personally, I want to cut off the middleman.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's really trying to piss the wrong people off.
and how does he get that he's captured her when we were going anyway?
He can't capture what we rightfully stole it. I mean, escorted.
We didn't steal
Liberated.
nothing.
We liberated it.
Steal anything?
We didn't liberate or steal anything.
Rescued.
You
That's what we did. We rescued.
What?
From the sewers, you remember.
Right.
No, that was afterwards, wasn't it? Oh, that wasn't it? Never mind. Forget that I said that. What's your name
Shark
other
bait.
than Captain?
Shark bait.
Hush you. You're not helping the situation. She knocks him across the head. What is your name? And she bows. Captain.
He smiles, and I need you to roll a persuasion check to get him to open up.
Oh. 18.
He smiles coolly at you. My name is the Bright. I am Zensor Cranston.
Does that ring a bell for me?
We'll roll a history check. Let's find out. Does not for Twilight. Covet von Sin. You have read romance novels about Zansor Cranston, the famous pirate and privateer bounty hunter and general romancer of the seas. He's said to
And are
be
the
very good at his abduction of women's wills.
Oh,
Great.
really?
okay. So
What feeling does Twilight get from this dude?
Competition? He's a schmoozer and a ne'er-do-well. He's probably got the best hair other than yourself. After all, you've got the best hair, right, Twilight? Not that you'd tell that to Covet. Not that you'd ever readily admit that to Covet. But Twilight, this is your perception of the guy. Is his hair is nearly as good as yours. His stance on this ship is just so swarthy. Maybe you can pick up a couple tips from him. He's the other side of the coin for Twilight.
He's rocking the windblown look.
He's absolutely rocking the Fabio on a ship look. And you can understand if anyone told you that he is one of these Harlequin novel covers. It's believable.
Covet raises an eyebrow, and she's like, "Ah, I've heard of you. I've read many of your books."
And what did you think of the tales about me? They're not my books, but books rather of my adventures.
Who wrote them?
Various friends. Translated to Covet Conquests.
Yeah, I figured as much. I see.
For the record, Twilight, he has put on no moves towards anyone on the ship.
So he's truly just is interested in the bounty with that insight?
At the moment, that's all that it appears. Yeah, he's not made any moves on anybody. He's just being swarthy and quiet, being a cool customer, which kind of leads into why people might find him interesting.
I'm still interested in him taking a drink.
We can be civilized about this. You may return control of the ship to us, and we will allow you to depart at the nearest inhabited isle or land that we can find. We each continue on our separate ways.
He smiles. My lady, there are no isles nearby. The course I have taken us upon is directly towards the Protectorate, and as you know, there are no land masses until we reach the Night Spire.
I guess that's a pity for you then, huh? Isn't it?
You
Yeah.
wish to drive the ship?
I would say,
Fine. He steps away from the helm, and the ship will lurch once again. And we'll go ahead and put you guys on the battle map. Just because I want to make sure we understand where everyone's at. So, there we go. So, our lovely friend here is going to step away from the helm.
As it lurches again, Kiki's going to say, tell him that he's the worst captain ever.
I
The ship keeps
surrender
rocking back and forth.
control of the helm to my lady.
Arn will give him a look of absolute disdain and take the helm.
Okay. Are you trained in water vehicles?
Yes.
Okay. Please roll your survival check. And I love the fact that I get to ask you, as a player, to roll the survival check for this. And unlike your alter ego, you are able to drive the ship quite well. Poking the bear. To be fair, Saphira has gotten better.
It's not what I've heard.
Better at driving ships, not so much
Right.
better at.
Oh, there's the clarification.
So, as Lauren takes control of the ship, Covet rolls her eyes at the dude because she has read the books and knows what he's all about at the moment, and is very much looking for a dinghy to throw him in.
You look for a dinghy desperately. There is none.
Hence
Still
the
the
name
dinghy's fine.
Shark Bait.
So, Covet confirmed that you've read the books?
Read enough.
Okay. Read enough. Very well. Has anyone else been reading these books?
I've read one or two.
Ayla has read one or two? Okay.
I don't trust him far as I can pick him up and throw him.
Which he might enjoy.
I
Knowing
know.
that last book.
Yeah, I know.
But he's currently leaning against the rail, watching Islarin's beautiful figure drive the ship. So, I have a question. They did not say why you left. Would you care to share?
Not with you, no.
Shame.
It's a very forward question to ask a lady.
Very.
I didn't think that was your MO.
So
He
Twilight
looks
is
over
usually
at
waiting.
Covet and winks just a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that again. Otherwise, Twilight is going to shoot your eye out.
Oh, I do not deal with married women. Ever.
Good.
You'll live longer that way.
Then I
You'll
have.
live.
I have lived this long because I have a set of rules that I abide by.
I'm afraid to ask what those might be.
Then don't. And he's going to...
Well, then taking a lady on home against her will is not necessarily the nicest thing to do.
I admit that freely. And he's going to swagger down the steps to here. I readily admit that. It's unfortunate. Yes?
As he takes a step on the stairs, Arn will rock the boat.
Okay, you're going to rock the boat? Cool. So, he's going to roll his athletics check. And with a 26, he maintains his footing. Because he has advantage.
Of course.
He doesn't notice that you did it intentionally. It's just the natural motion of the ocean for him.
Ew.
Ocean of the ocean.
Phrasing!
What? I don't know what you mean.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Um, Rule 1. Be true to thyself. Rule 2. Do what you can for profit. Rule 3. Stay alive at all costs. I believe the rule you're looking for is Rule 10. Never take another man's wife for any reason, unless you bring him with. Covet, you remember that book?
Pinky. Uh-huh. Pinky. But, and she remembers the book, and she looks at Twilight and says, but Twilight doesn't share. So.
No sharing needed. To your own, be true. But my lady is Lauren Shunazath will be returning home, and I have spent an enormous fund in order to ensure that I gain the bounty.
And I wonder what happens when you don't get a dime.
I believe I will continue getting more money. I'm sorry, how am I not going to be paid?
First off, who is your employer?
Oh, the Protectorate themselves.
And,
The nice lady's father has employed me.
can I see the contract, please?
He will produce a wanted poster for Slar and Shonazath. But he puts his hand over the amount so that you cannot see it.
And so what happens when we tell her father that she was voluntarily coming home?
I argue the point, and my reputation stands before yours.
Oh, does
And
it?
what happens when you're not there to have that conversation?
Oh, I will be there. Trust me, friend Twilight. I will be there, and I'm sure you will too. There is no need for hostilities. I understand your reputation precedes you. I have studied each of you extensively. In fact, I know that even now our small Aarakocra friend here is considering how best to stun me, followed by my attempted disembarkation by the rest of the party. Am I incorrect?
Yeah, because I'm
You're not
standing here
completely
considering-
incorrect.
You're not completely correct, because I'm standing here thinking how to just take you out right where you are.
Well, that's not very gracious and
No one
host-like.
said it was, and I'm not your host. You are the one who brought me here.
But this is your ship, is it not?
So you're an invader.
No.
Yes.
I am a visitor.
You admitted that we were drugged? That you drugged us.
Yes.
That goes very, very, very against your code, sir.
How so?
Very gallant, now is it?
Who said I was gallant? The ladies.
Every single lady that you have,
Conquered?
Wooed, not conquered.
that's the way you put it.
That's what I'm trying to be nice here.
That wasn't nice.
I will say, my lady Covet, that I have my reputation overblown somewhat.
As an absolute rake, then, I'm certain. You don't mind that one, but...
I do not mind that title. Thank you.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't mind that one. But that being said, still taking a lady against her will?
Oh,
Really?
no. Only abducting. not
No,
taking.
no. Oh, no. Oh, and that's any better? Ooh, shame. I'd hate for this to get out.
What, like fiercely coming up with some type of discrediting trope?
I mean, really.
A reputation's a terrible thing to waste.
Yes, it is.
He
And
sighs and
you
will
have
go
how
over
many
to the master
witnesses
again.
here? How many witnesses do you have here? I think it's our word against yours.
He shrugs.
I can see it now.
Wow. It's Venser, the bright Cranston. The liar.
The assaulter of women.
The
Drugging them in
kidnapper.
their sleep.
The abductor.
Kidnapper.
The hero.
Not so much.
Nope. Not
It's all
really.
about perspective. And since you haven't written the book, it's all your lady friends. And how did you get their attention?
He drugged them as well. He drugged.
Assault, kidnapping.
Did you read to the end of each of the books?
Oh, yes.
At the end of each
They
of
have
the
a thing
books,
for you.
the women are all satisfied and are living healthy lives with someone else other than him, not pining for him.
Oh, don't I know? Because they're smart.
They realized they had a good thing where they had.
So,
Exactly.
And you were not it.
He shrugs. It takes a rascal to show someone that their ways are wrong. At least they are not hurt,
It
as
takes
others
a-
would have done.
So you're
again,
the
that's all in
rascal.
perspective.
You're the rascal, and we get to show you the error of your ways.
I am welcome and open to be taught. Suffice it to say, this is your ship. I am aboard. I have brought you here, admittedly against your will, but to go to a place that you wish to go. This was the only way that I could ensure that I would be present.
Did you think of getting, I don't know, provisions?
I did. The ship is well stocked. We have enough food and water to supply us for 90 days.
How long will it take us to get to the protectorate?
Oh, we are already in protectorate waters. We only need to find a ship.
It's Lauren. What do you want us to do with this cad? I mean, I wouldn't mind disposing of him.
He tips his hat at the mention of CAD. I like that one.
You would. Also, probably ass. So, it's Lauren, what would you prefer us to do?
Do not see a need for murder.
I'm not wanting to murder him. I'm just wanting to throw him overboard.
And let fate take its toll thereafter.
I won't even eat him.
We understand the likely consequences of doing so.
Oh,
would be
and what
responsible.
might that be?
What she knows is that should you throw me overboard, you will incur the wrath of whatever ship picks me up. and you do not wish to run afoul of the Protectorate.
But yet, all I see is a wanted poster. I haven't seen a contract.
My lady Covet von Sin, the wanted poster for me
If you-
is the contract.
Let me see the wanted poster. All of it in its
I
entirety.
think he needs to have his tongue removed.
Roll your persuasion check, Covet. He shrugs. I'm sorry, my lady, but I will not have my significant poster taken away without a promise that it will be returned.
Urgle, do you mind coming here?
He crawls out like an undead entity from your backpack. What?
Urgle, darling, could you be a sweetheart and fetch that poster for me?
He looks over. Ah, shit. Fine. And the undead raven flies over to try to snatch the poster. At which time, your captain is going to try to grab a hold of the familiar. And does so. He looks at the
Okay.
undead raven. Now this is
And
an
she
interesting...
makes the She dismisses Urgle.
Urgle poofs. Now. Miss Shonazad, are you truly interested in returning to the Protectorate?
You this long to ask. That wasn't
If
even
when
an
we
excellent
had
idea.
the ship,
What did you say, Aslarn? I'm sorry.
Yes, it is our next destination.
So,
We're
with me having provided the provisions, getting you underway, and generally being good company,
Oh,
why cannot we get along and simply sail at ease? I promise you no further harm. None of you have been injured, and none of your possessions have been taken. I could have robbed you blind. Everything that you have is yours. The only thing that I have liberated you from is from the hindrance to the expedition. The desire to not take off. I've done nothing to you other than provided you with everything you needed.
except the means to defend the ship, because there are no ballistas here.
He smiles.
well.
If we had the ballistas on board the ship, the first protectorate vessel that saw the Josozai ship here would have sunk it before questions.
Which is why we needed to have altered the ship before we left port.
Slowing it? Why would you slow such a graceful beast?
Didn't say slow it. I said remove this stain of the Joseph from it.
Sir, the ship's style itself is of Josozai make. This ship cannot be disguised as anything else.
Didn't say disguise. I said remove the stain.
Feel free. How would you remove the stain of the Josozai from the ship?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe having the true Church of MKL fix it.
The ship is not
We can
desecrated.
start by raising a protectorate flag on it.
Change
would've
the
been helpful.
sails.
You guys look up at the top of the mast. There is a protectorate flag at the top.
Change the sails.
And personally, I wouldn't have mind having a monetary reward for coming back on our own volition without having to share it with a playboy.
Do you believe that her father would pay you for returning of your own volition?
We were helping a friend. You are kidnapping.
Yes,
There is a big difference.
there is. And the difference is a significant sum of coins.
Ill gained.
Which I really don't think that you should be entitled to.
That is not for you to determine, fortunately for me. The person who is to determine that is Mr. Shonozeth.
Whom I
Oh, it's
certainly
Lauren's
never
husband.
met.
Gotcha.
Oh, Lauren is not
No.
yet married.
You will address my father as Major Shonazath.
Lady Islaren. Lord Shonazath is a major in the military, and I am not in the military.
What did Kiki say?
Was Kiki able to grab the map while he was distracted talking to
The map or the bounty
The
poster?
map.
I mean, not
The map or
sorry,
the bounty poster?
Bounty poster.
The
Yeah,
bounty poster? Yes.
All right. Kiki's going to move pretty quickly over to the party. I'm going to fly over to here. Here you go.
Thank
You
you,
know,
Kiki.
he
Sorry,
could pull
Twilight. And
that
she
up.
gives Kiki a kiss on the top of his head.
He could have pulled
You
that
are
off of
awesome,
anything.
and Covet takes a look at the wanted poster.
The wanted poster is for Islaren Shonazath and is posted by, let me get the name. The name is Kolos Shonazath. I will put that in chat here because I get to do that now. The sum for her return alive and unharmed is 100,000 gold pieces of Schnozen Protectorate gold.
Yeah, I definitely don't want him on the boat.
Ownership.
Ah, there it is.
That's a lot of
Wants his
coins.
own ship. And the coin.
I don't think they've got
Mhm.
incentive to keep him on the boat anymore.
I don't know. Is Lauren? Covet kind of looks at her, and very pointedly, and it says here that you are unharmed. What about the psychological effects of you being drugged and taken against your will? How do you feel about that one?
Ill?
Oh, are you sick? That's terrible. Look what you did.
I feel that my father will be unpersuaded.
Your father may not be, but what about your mom?
Ooh.
Because let me tell you, the father may be the head of the family, but the wife, the mother, is the neck. She can turn that head any way she wants.
Mm-hmm.
He would understand exactly what game we were playing. Question is, would she choose to play along?
That is where diplomacy for you comes in, my friend.
But we haven't answered the question about whether or not shark bait remains on the ship.
As distasteful as I find a man of his occupation, as far as I am aware, they are in protectorate waters and he is acting with its lawful authority.
But see, I really think he needs to meet protectorate waters, and him being on this ship, he's not meeting protectorate waters at all. He's just sailing above them.
He will, in due time, always catches up to them.
Would you be remiss if I sped up that meeting between him and the protectorate waters?
I would certainly not approve. I doubt I have a way to stop you.
Covet, there are not bounties on him. You
I
can roll a
don't
history
know
check.
why not.
Oh, I can actually roll a history check, the two of you, because you two have read the books. So with a 23 and a 21, one of the endearing qualities of this man is that whenever someone is wronged by him, he does his very best to make it right. The bounties that do get posted on him, he resolves by talking and doing things in order to ensure that they're made right. The last book that was written about him, he had to steal a ship, and the ship was sunk, stranding him and his pursuit on a desolate island. The ship was to be returned, and after returning her to her husband, who she married, he managed to acquire a ship and provide it to the husband as compensation. Thus, the husband, the new husband, I should say, removed the bounty from him because he provided him with a ship. Every time this guy has a bounty on him, he figures out some way to have it dispelled and removed.
Does that sound magical? Or is that just something he does?
It's not magical. It is through acts of service in order to fulfill his personally perceived obligation. He doesn't like being in debt to anybody.
So right now I am seeing a hefty debt to the party of upwards of about 95,000 gold for the ineptitude, the drugging, the shoving onto the ship, and the loss of a day's worth of cognizance.
Not to mention anything else we needed before we took this journey.
Yeah, because the Protectorate was not our only destination.
You may have just found yourself a great travel agent.
Do you recognize the debt of 95,000 gold pieces?
He looks over at you. No. What I do recognize is someone who is to be feared across the seven seas. A man who rightfully belongs on this ship. a woman who has made deals with the Witch of the Witch of the Consortium. A member of the Blue Cloaks. My apologies, sir, for your abduction. A lady from far-off lands who seeks exotic foods. You'll find some down below decks that you've never tasted. I was careful to ensure that you had a exotic tasting experience. And Lady Shonazath, who must needs be returned, at least for the bounty, if not for her own betrothal. I do my very best to assist. Hopefully this adventure brings a way towards enlightenment for our small friend, who seems to have very sticky fingers.
And I'm still having difficulties justifying your presence still on the boat. A weight of coin would assist in rectifying that situation.
A weight of coin. Is that what you care about, sir? Fine. And he is going to swagger over to you, Mr. Twilight, and hold out a bag. Will you take it from him?
That bag looks a little light.
Very well. I have offered a weight of coins. It is a shame that we could not do business, sir. I mean you no ill will. You have only been brought aboard as part of the association that I observed with Miss Shonazath. She would have been want to leave the ship to return to you and reclaim you. I brought you aboard as a favor to her. Know this, your presence is not necessary here. It is only by deference to her interests that you are here at all.
And yet your presence isn't needed at all.
He smiles. I have the connections to the ships that are coming.
I would assume that so does she.
He looks at Miss Shonazath. Would you care to explain to them that should you be found on your own, Lady Shonazath, you would be taken back to the Night Spire in chains?
Twilight raises an interesting eyebrow up at Islam.
Have it asked.
Takes a
It's true.
moment.
So, shall we have this great benefactor occupy the position of chains as opposed to yourself?
Fine size. I don't think there's a need for this. You will, of course, keep an eye on him, and if he makes even the slightest threat toward any of us, we will reevaluate what we will do with him. But he does speak enough truth that it is my inclination to cooperate.
He means to collect on your ill fortune. How much do you think that's worth to both you and the rest of us?
It is not of much concern to me how much it is worth.
Covet will walk up past Kiki and Twilight, deliberately taking her shoulder and hitting it against Cranston.
Okay.
Goes up the stairs and stands next to Islaren and is like, look, you have my power. I have your back. Whatever you choose. But I do not trust him as far as I can throw him over this ship, and let me guarantee you it is not very
Oh no,
far.
Repelling Blast.
Oh, no,
does
neither
an
do I.
awful wonder.
But I promised you I would protect you with my own life.
And Ayla turns and looks at his Lauren and says, please understand, we are here for you always. Whatever you say for us to do, we'll do it.
Hey Kiki, doesn't he look a little dry right now?
He does look a bit dry to me.
Look at
I think we need to
Covet
fix
more,
that.
I'll just
I mean,
nod at both of them.
I'm willing to defer to Lyring. I mean, this is sort of these are your waters, so I figure it's up to you.
I would
But I am going to keep
rather
my
it be
eye
known that I met my people with peace and of my own will, as opposed to being accused of resisting and committing acts of violence.
Well, there's obviously still a bounty that is going to be up for grabs. What say
Not
you?
necessarily.
We need an edge. We need an edge for everything. But at the same time, I don't think that
He did make the
returning you
offer of
home
sharing.
warrants. He just wants his own ship, and she looks at him pointedly.
He's currently sitting with his back to the mast, faced off with Kiki, who approached him, just trying to play it cool. He's not doing anything and not making any reaction.
No, Kiki flew past him up into the crow's nest that he's now renamed the Kiki's Nest.
The Kiki's Nest?
We're not trying to provoke, just watching.
Yep. He is taking no offensive action other than drugging you and putting you aboard your own ship and allowing you access to the protectorate where you wanted to go.
It's the other than drugging thing. That's the one that's hard to sort of swallow.
That's the one that's hard to swallow. Well done with the pun.
It's the acceleration of the timeline. It's the not taking all the necessary steps. And then he looks to make a profit off of it. And that just really does not sit well with Twilight at all.
Okay, as a question, this is out of character. Is it because you would have done the same thing?
Of course not.
Was that
No,
sarcasm?
Back up.
No.
Stop a minute.
You would not
Would
have...
we have done the same thing? You mean, would we have drugged somebody and drug them on this ship
To get a bounty?
No.
to get a bounty? No.
I mean, the
Twilight?
bounty's 100,000 gold, so I don't know. I
Twi-
mean,
Twilight, would you have
I mean, we were
abducted
going
somebody
on-
for 100,000 gold?
Sir, you impede my honor.
Out of character, I do think that Twilight is 100% down for doing it for 100,000 gold.
Oh, absolutely, but he will never admit to that.
Oh, of course not. But out of character,
I mean-
this is absolutely something that the party would do. But in character, you guys would never admit that to this guy.
Twilight is still trying to figure out how he maximizes this into an 85% to 15% split on this whole thing.
I mean,
guys-
seriously, I mean,
Oh,
you
it
guys
looks like
go for it.
Eowyn?
If you guys drug someone, I'm not gonna get you out of it like last time.
No, he drugged us, Eowyn. He needs to burn for that.
I like him. He should. I think he's fine. He hasn't attacked us.
What books have you read?
I haven't read any books.
That's what they all say.
No, I honestly read the books. He's a cad.
I read some of
So,
them. You don't trust him.
Cad, but not a
Which is
villain.
why, which I think he needs to justify how much his life is worth at this point.
He hasn't made any moves to attack us. We have no reason to be hostile.
Absolutely, we do. We are in now. We are drugged. We're now on the open waters. What point of this do you not understand?
we were drugged.
Drugging is an attack.
Drugging is illegal.
Did you not hear what he said earlier? He could have robbed us if he wanted to, but he didn't.
Again, still drugged.
He really focused on that part.
Yeah, I am. Because, you know, you never know if anybody's allergic to something. I mean, somebody could have died.
I personally don't like having the removal of my faculties.
Although it's true.
Speaking of which,
Although it's true he didn't do anything while we were unconscious, he certainly could have.
We don't know that.
what did you drug us with, dude?
He smiles and stands up and turns to you, my lady. I have used a powder from far off Rathus. I acquired it on a voyage specifically for your party. It is derived from the bones of a great dinosaur. I had to slay it with my bare hands and grind its bones into a fine powder.
Is it a T-Rex from Australia?
No, from the land of Rathus.
Hmm.
And it is...
And you
Okay,
killed it with your bare hands. I find that hard to believe.
I'm sorry, why?
We
So
have
what?
fought dragons. We're not stupid.
No, you are not. You are quite intelligent and quite capable in your own rights. Hence, I had to perform the deception. I had to slay the beast, grind its bones into a fine powder, and mix them with the nearby plants in Rathus in order to provide the toxin that would allow you to render each of you unconscious without any lingering ill effects. I trust none
And
of you
what
have
did-
a headache afterwards.
And
What's the name of it?
Point being toxin.
What is? What's the name of this thing? Of this potion? I mean,
Well, you see, the name of the creature is the Eo. And once combined with the plant life around, it becomes the Eocane powder.
tasteless, odorless.
Indeed.
Completely dissolves in liquid.
Precisely.
Undetectable.
Undetectable.
Oh, and let me guess. You are immune to Eocane powder because you've been taking it little bit by little bit by little bit for years.
He bows. You have read the books.
I really want to throw him over the side now. Oh,
Unconceivable.
you wouldn't happen to travel with a giant, would you?
A giant? No. Not
Or some
lately,
dude.
anyway. There was the one time.
Indigo Montoya?
No, that was the Brood Squad.
No.
Oh yeah, he is the
I
Brood
believe you need
Squad.
to go and read the books once again.
No. Yeah, no, thanks.
No.
Too much
One-
weight to carry around. I can only carry a few books at a time. That being said,
I still
Careful.
haven't heard
They
how
can
much
alter
you
your
value your
back.
life for.
so
Carrying too many books can alter your gait. Be careful.
You still haven't expressed how much your life is worth.
Lord Twilight, I believe is how you prefer to be referred to. My life is worth only what you deem it to be worth. To you, my life is inconsequential. For you, my life is worth as much food as I can consume and whatever annoyance you're willing to tolerate. For me, my life is worth vastly more.
So how about you balance those scales?
Lower my
From what
expectations.
little...
Very well.
Say again?
I will lower my expectations of myself to yours.
Perfect. Jump off the boat.
Nay.
Twilight,
you
what
are
is
lo-
her obsession?
Wait, is Lorna said she doesn't want him getting thrown off the ship. So we've agreed to go by what she said.
he
I
wasn't going to
didn't talk about this, but on the jump off, there's a difference.
I do not wish to leave my ship as I do have a purpose.
You said your ship. I don't think that's
No.
quite true.
Not my ship, the ship.
You said
Quite the
My
Freudian slip there, Sharkbait.
Indeed, I apologize.
What is it that you hope to get out of this? You think you're going to get the ship once all the bargaining and negotiations are complete? Is that what you hope
I
to
would
achieve?
never be granted this ship. This ship will never be mine and would not serve my purposes. The only reason that I am aboard this ship is because it is yours. It is available for the voyage to the Protectorate, and it is convenient.
And you wish to get 100,000 gold.
I wish to fulfill the
And the other
bounty and claim a ship of my own. Indeed.
And so how much of that 100,000 bounty are you going to part with to ensure that you're able to collect?
He looks at you. What I will need to fulfill my other bargains negates most of the gold which I would be collecting. I'm sorry, but I cannot provide you with much.
Sounds like a short drop and a big splash.
He shrugs.
what other issues negate that gold?
My guess is that he's probably got to pay off some people to keep from getting a bounty put on his own head.
Upset husbands.
Boyfriends. Yes. But I also have my expertise aboard the ship. So, enough arguing. Either throw me off or don't. I have offered my services, and I have set you on your way with a ship full of provisions.
Miss Lauren, I will not touch him. But the moment you say to kill him, gladly.
Oh, I don't want to kill him. I just want to introduce him with the sharks. He is shark bait after all.
Again, I will not kill him. But the moment you want him gone, I will help.
I understand.
So,
Continue to sail.
Captain, get up off your ass, get into the riggings, and make ready the sails.
He looks at the sails, and the sails are
We're
currently
already
full,
sailing.
and They're ready, and you guys are sailing. He smiles. Done, sir.
Oh, and I would like to have some of that eocaine powder, please. I would like to study that.
Unfortunately, I used the last dose upon each of you. I have no more. I cannot drug you again.
Then I will gladly take the recipe.
He smiles. Of course, my lady. And he will begin to walk over towards Covet. As he swaggers, he's going to keep his hands very visible behind his back, Twilight. And he's going to lean in and not quite get close, but close enough to whisper a good foot away from Covet. You must slay the dinosaurs known as the Eo and mix them with the canes, the sugar from which is toxic. These are only available in the land of Rathus and are exceedingly difficult to come by. Once ground together, you must dry them in the sun upon the sands of Rathus and thus collect the powder. Only a small amount will be there, but it is very effective. Be cautious, for you would not wish to inject yourself or consume it on accident. Wearing of a mask is important.
It's quite appreciated.
He nods and tips his hat, or doing a little flourish, as you would expect Twilight to do if he had a tricorn. And he will saunter down the stairs back to the mast.
Covet thinks to herself, Twilight Saunter is so much better.
You look over at Twilight, and Twilight is looking at him. He is ignoring Twilight. There is definitely an air of competition here.
Covet walks past Islaran, kind of winks at both Islaran and Ayla. Comes down and gives Twilight a very, very, very passionate kiss. So he knows who won and will always win.
Twilight, you were not expecting this, but it is pleasant.
That was pleasant.
Got one job on this ship. Would it be reassuring to you, Twilight?
She grabs his ass at the same time.
Uh-huh. So you're going full PDA on him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And see, that's not the issue that's bothering Twilight at all.
Right.
And we'll move here away from whatever this is.
Good job, Eowyn.
Good job, Eowyn.
The issue that Twilight has is the whole audacity of somebody inserting themselves into our situation and hoping to profit from what was already going to occur, and then not, at a minimum, as a courtesy, professionalism, what have you, cut in the rest of us for the sole fact of their life is precarious.
Is it because, and this is a question, is it because he got to it first before you figured out a way to get the bounty on Islaran?
Initially, no,
Uh-huh.
but also more along the lines of how could we have collectively, including Miss Lauren, created a situation for all of us to benefit and or profit to enable our future endeavors as well.
Understood. So
And he's still thinking through that,
Yep.
but wanting to cut out the additional hand.
Understood. So very much it is this guy thought of it first and got to it before you did, and you're now trying to figure out a way to remove him from the equation.
And still profit.
Right. Because someone's going to benefit from this. It's just this guy got to it before you guys did. And now you're
And why can't it be us?
That's the fun part. He's the
Why can't he
bounty
just
hunter.
take the ship? Why can't he just take the ship, sell it for what it's worth, make more than 100,000 gold?
Because we need it for all the other things that we're getting ready to do. Which means that I want to have him live up to his name as Sharpie.
But one of the prizes is
No, we have
ship.
part of the conditions is to arrive on their ship.
she goes and looks back at the
It never
bounty.
says that.
Clarification.
The bounty is bring Islaren to the Protectorate unharmed. Doesn't say anything about your ship. He could have taken another ship. He could have abducted just her. He brought you guys aboard your ship.
There was a ship in that dialogue somewhere.
Right. The ship is
There was a
reward.
ship and 100,000.
Right. That's the reward for him turning you guys in. Or turning Islaren in, not you guys. You guys are just
So it's
extras.
100K plus a ship.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's what I was saying is that he can
And leave the
take
100K.
the ship.
And leave the 100K.
Yeah.
He
As
told you that
a-
the 100,000 gold is already owed to somebody else.
That's
And-
not our problem. That's
and-
not our problem.
He can take the ship and sell it and make a profit. Have those situations handled, and
That's up to you guys to figure out how you
No.
guys want to handle it. I just present the challenges. Your acquaintance is quite resolute in staying aboard the ship. Your friend Islaren has said she does not want him thrown overboard. Eowyn has expressed that he doesn't want them thrown overboard. Ayla has even said. Kiki seems to be looking out in the crow's nest. Twilight seems to be the only one who's fixated on removing this guy from the ship. And you will need him in order for the Protectorate to not throw all of you in chains.
Why would the Protectorate want to throw all of us in chains?
Islaren?
They would seem to view me as a runaway. Would consider you to be aiding and abetting me.
He's the one that kidnapped.
I would.
He's the one that should be
contest.
thrown in chains.
Twilight,
That's what I was.
can I get you to roll an insight check, please?
I was gonna say, what is he gonna do to keep us all from being thrown in chains?
So, with a 13, based off of what's been said, Islaren is AWOL.
But as Lauren had already told us that before.
Right. And being AWOL in a military country, if she is discovered without being escorted by someone who's licensed, she will be arrested, put in chains. This guy is basically the escort to get you guys through everything without her being arrested. You
But
guys
that's my question.
are viewed
So
as
I-
criminals right now.
How does he keep us from getting out of chain?
Oh, that's where you'd have to ask him those questions.
Okay. Look, Captain, whatever your name is, what do you
Shark
know,
bait.
or who do you know, or what is it that's going to keep you, or what is it that you can do that keeps all the rest of us out of chains?
He smiles at Ayla Taylor. My lady, out of deference to you, the thing that I do is I speak. I have a reputation to maintain, and I have contacts throughout the Protectorate. I have a license for bounty hunting, and should we run into a Protectorate vessel, which we will undoubtedly do, I will be able to speak to them and ensure that we are released so that we can continue our voyage without the ship being impounded, sunk, and you all thrown into the local galley and thrown away, taken in chains to the Night Spire, where you will be taken to the bottom of the ocean and held there until Islarin is married. That is not what you wish, I am certain.
Well, he's got a point there.
For Twilight's
That is
Call's
true.
benefit, the impedance of your freedom would be far greater by the Protectorate than by me.
And you need access to both coin and ship, which is the reward for such activities. And I'm still debating whether or not I allow you to meet that end.
And thus we are at an impasse, and yet
So I
sailing
see.
towards our aims. Why can we not be at least shipmates?
Make it worth our while.
Very well. Should you run into a Protectorate ship, which is bound to happen, you will not be thrown in jail. Is that worth your while?
And see, I still think I would like to take that risk, and whether or not you're here, that still may be a possibility. I still think you need to sweeten this situation.
He will just smile. My lord, thus I cannot fulfill your expectations.
Twilight ready with longbow.
Okay. He looks at you and raises an eyebrow. I would not do that if I were you, sir.
Then I suggest you start your negotiation.
I am done negotiating. I have my position on the ship. Should you choose to take your action, that is upon you.
Covet at
Lauren
this
had
point
said-
just
as Lauren
sighs
had
and
said-
shakes her head and stands in between his boat and Cranston and is like, I am, she says, out of respect for Islarin and what she wishes, I will not harm this man, even though I would love to. But it is Islarin's call, not ours.
He stands to profit at our situation.
I do
Yep.
not agree with it at all.
So we
But
should make
this
it
is-
equally painful across the situation.
But this is Lauren's call. Now, if she would rather like us to, I don't know, tie him to the front of the ship, like on the Maidenhead, that'd be fine by me. But that is, again, it's Lauren's
Ooh, I got
call.
an immovable rod to keep him there.
We understand you're upset, Twilight. We really do, because we feel very similar. But however, we said that this was Lauren's call, and she has said, leave him alone. So, leave him alone.
I have been drugged. I've been dragged upon this ship. I've been accosted. And I'm supposed to walk away.
Yes.
I know it takes a big man to do that, but you can do it. You're the biggest.
I will have recompense.
We'll have a long time to figure out how you wish to collect such recompense. There are times for action and there are times for patience, and now is the time for patience.
Standing where she is, she turns her back on Twilight and looks at Cranston and says, "You will stay away. You will be on your best behavior, or you will be thrown off by my blast."
Very well, my lady.
I still think there should be compensation.
There may be yet. Just be patient.
I'd rather have guarantees.
So would we all, but life's not like that.
Oh, but it can be. And that's not your word, it's his that I'm looking for.
But we are talking in circles as he is not clearly not going to give such word.
No, he is not.
Now, Twilight, I ask that you trust me.
Did we lose them? Did we lose?
No, Twilight's here.
I'm just thinking.
Trying to figure out how to say what he needs to say. Hold on.
Understood. All good. All good.
Twilight is still looking for that restitution.
Okay. So,
Look out to the horizon to see if there are any ships nearby.
you look out to the horizon. Can I get a perception check?
Yeah, does Kiki see anything?
Kiki, you're up in the Kiki's nest. Can I get your perception check, please?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, Kiki, maybe the edge of the Kiki's nest is a little too high for you.
Ouch, that hurts.
No, he's part of
in
the door.
reality.
He should be able to see.
I'm trying to watch this guy that's got Twilight so upset. So I haven't really been looking out over the horizon.
Yeah. However, Islarin, ahead of you, you see storm clouds. You guys are sailing directly towards a squall.
What's a squall?
A squall is a thunderstorm at sea with high waves that are dangerous.
It's the beginning of a tropical disturbance up in other places.
That seems bad.
Do you point it out,
It's a
Islarin?
great. Oh, I will definitely point it out, and I'll explain what is happening, and I'll add is a great roiling that if you are not suited for on deck, I would recommend not doing so.
As she says this, the captain speaks up. Your friend is right. If you are not suited for being on deck, I encourage you to head below where it will be safe. I will remain on deck to assist anyone who wishes to be here.
Don't we?
I will go
Do we
below
need
deck.
to be up here? Do we need to guide the ship?
It will be wise for 2 people to be on deck. One to drive the ship, and another to ensure that the person driving the ship is not washed overboard. Any others who wishes to remain on board are welcome. I will remain on deck myself in order to ensure that the ship stays stable.
We'll remain on deck as well.
Does anyone wish to stay on deck with this Slarin and this rakish figure?
I will.
You will? He looks at you. Are you certain, sir?
Of course. I am proficient in sailing this ship, as well as adequately acrobatic. And Islara needs all the assistance that she can have.
Very well. Know that the acrobatics will not be of much assistance, as the athletics will be the key point here. And he begins fashioning a series of ropes into a harness for himself.
I will see how I can use my immovable rod to assist in that same context.
All right. Roll an insight check, sir.
What did find it to do anything? There it goes.
All right.
Not very good.
Never mind. We're just going to gloss over it. So,
Rod will not follow the ship, Twilight.
Say again.
Rod will not follow the ship.
Ah, okay. Never mind.
Well, I'm going below decks.
okay. So, Ayla goes below deck. Eowyn, what were you going to say?
I don't know if the chat's working properly yet. I said I'll stay on the ship, on top of the ship as well.
Okay, so you're going to stay on top of the ship as well? Okay.
I'm going below deck.
Cool. All right. Kiki?
Kiki's gonna just go right inside the door and continue to watch, just to see if anyone needs help. But so I guess I'm below decks, but still where I can keep an eye on that.
Okay.
On what's going on in the
Cool.
deck.
So, Twilight will think better of it, and then we'll say, if you need relief for whatever reason, then I can take over for second shift, depending on how long the storm lasts.
Okay. As the thunder begins to roll in, a wave comes up and is about to hit the ship. I have Eowyn, I have the captain, I have a Slarin on deck. Twilight and Covet and Kiki are below decks. Kiki has his eyes peeking up through the hatch. As the wave comes over the side, the first wave, I need anyone who is not tied to the ship to roll their athletics check of a DC 18. The people who are below decks are immune to being washed overboard. You guys can only be knocked prone, but I do need your athletics checks.
That's Arcana, not Athletics, but
Yeah, we'll crowd the So,
it's a +2.
awesome. Ayla goes flying against the side of the ship, and with a 1, we are going to deal some damage to Ayla to the tune of 2d6. Bludgeoning damage. You suffer 2 bludgeoning damage, Ayla,
Wow.
as I rolled minimum. So, let's see
Ouch.
here. With an 17, Eowyn is going going to be washed overboard.
I
No!
try to grab hold of him
What do you mean
before.
I'm apart?
So,
No, he's on.
unfortunately, Islarin's driving the ship. Eowyn is washed overboard. The wave washes Eowyn 60 feet to here.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't
Pinky
tie
is
yourself
gonna-
to the ship.
Kiki's gonna fly out to try to get to Eowyn.
Unfortunately, when the wave came over, it slammed the hatch shut. So unless someone shouts that Eowyn went overboard, you don't know that yet. But would you like to come out to see what the situation is?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I mean, I'm assuming that I would have heard Eowyn, right? I mean, Eowyn, wouldn't you have made noise when you went overboard?
Yeah, I
As soon
assume
as Lauren saw, Evan going overboard, like she instinctively shouts
All right,
and overboard.
cool. So let's go ahead and have you guys roll for initiative so we can track what's going on. As I need to fix the map here.
Oh, and I didn't click my token first. Sorry about that.
All good?
I didn't either. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
I clicked my token.
Good for you.
All right. So, Kiki did not click his token. There we go. Eowyn got a 19. All right.
We are failing at the initiative rolls today.
Great.
What was the athletics roll of Sharkbait?
He's got a harness on. Didn't have to roll it. All right. And what code give for hers? She has not rolled yet.
I'm below. I didn't think I needed to. Okay.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, he said everybody. Maybe she shouldn't.
He doesn't really know.
I don't
Thanks for
know.
coming. I appreciate that so much.
That's right.
All right.
Try.
So, the storm goes on a 20. Because it's the lair action, but it loses ties. So, Ayla will be going before the storm. All right. So, Kiki, you were the first one to act. Oh, I forgot our friend here. He needs to roll, and his initiative here.
Don't forget your cape.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I am going to use my bonus action to click on my boots of speed.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna get down here. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Eowyn, here, grab my arm." And I'm gonna flourish my cape, which is not easy to do when you're in the water, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I'm gonna bring the two of us back to the ship.
How much weight can you carry?
I have the cape of the mountain.
Oh, the Cape of the Mountebank.
Yeah.
So you're going to dimension
So
door
I
back
am
onto the
dimension
ship?
dooring us back. Yeah. So I'm going to bring us back onto the ship.
Awesome. If Eowyn's willing.
My God,
Eowyn, are you
you look
willing?
a little wet there.
I'm willing.
Okay. Cool. So, Eowyn gets teleported back onto the ship. Awesome. Anything else, Kiki?
That is it for my turn.
All right, Islarin, you managed to keep your footing. What would you like to do?
I would like to try to keep the ship as steady as possible. If I do so, would that make it easier for us to avoid getting knocked overboard?
Yes. Let's roll your water vehicles check. The 14, you're not able to manage the storm. The storm's got an 18, so the ship's not doing great. Another wave will be coming over soon. All right. Anything? So that's
Well,
Slaren's
myself
turn.
then.
Ayla, you're below decks. Anything you'd like to do? You were currently
Yeah, I'm
laying down the
putting
ground.
on my cloak of manta ray,
Okay,
just in case.
just in case. All right. The storm's going to hit. No one is in the water, but the water surges in all directions. If someone was in the water, they'd be washed away from the ship even further. Eowyn, at the start of your turn, I need you to roll an athletics check because you don't have your sea legs yet. It is a DC of an 18. All right, Kiki, I need you to roll
Is she
a.
close to us, Lauren? Or does that only apply to saving
Matter.
throws?
It's only
Only
for
saving
saving
throws.
throws.
And she's not close enough anyway. He's not close enough anyway.
He's not close enough. So, Kiki, I need you to roll your athletics check of a DC 18 to hold on to Eowyn, or Eowyn's going back in the water.
Yes.
Eowyn goes back in the water, but this time it's not that far. It's only 30 feet.
Eowyn, stop going in the water.
You think it's my fault?
All right. So Eowyn gets washed overboard at the start of their turn. And so we will go to Zenser. Zenser is currently harnessed and leaps into the water. You see a trailing rope behind him that is tied to the mast. And he is going to grab a hold of Eowyn if you will not resist.
I won't.
Okay. He will grab a hold of Eowyn. Holding Eowyn, he shouts back to the ship, "Pull us aboard!" Twilight's call, and you hear the call for pull us aboard. However, you know that it's going to be very dangerous if you go on deck.
Do I actually hear it?
Yeah, he shouts it, yes. Unless you want to
But
roll a
I'm below
perception check.
deck.
You can roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
With a 10?
With a 10?
No. Can't hear it over the storm because the storm's at 18.
So I'm going to be laying in my hammock because I don't know what's going on upstairs.
Very well.
Ignore that roll of mine. Oh,
Cover.
yeah, it is mine. Yeah, perception. Do I hear that?
With disadvantage? No.
Hey. Everything seems to be going well up there, don't you think, my love?
It's interesting riding the storm out in a hammock.
Yeah. We're kind of swinging back and forth. It's a lot of fun.
Well, like, do you try to do a loop-de-loop in your hammock?
Of course not.
Okay. For the record, guys, don't try to do a loop-de-loop in a hammock. Does not work.
I think I tried that one time. It did well.
Kiki, you are soaking wet because of the rain and water. What would you like to do?
Kiki's gonna run up to Islaren and say, "Hey, Islaren, do you want me to hold this or try to pull them back up? Like, I don't think I can pull them back up myself, but I might be able to hold the steering wheel here."
I made a mistake. I do need you to roll your athletics check because you have not succeeded on getting your sea legs yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a DC 18 athletics check or you're going overboard.
I don't want to go overboard. And yet,
Especially with wet feathers, making it impossible to fly. You splash
Hey,
into
guys.
the water there.
yeah. Hey guys.
Who's in the water now?
Kiki is right next to you. Alright. So, you get washed overboard. It's Lauren. They're overboard. What would you like to do? You have your sea legs.
Always have my sea legs. Okay. I'm considering two things. Okay, I think I will try to pull in
You want to try it for the rope?
Actually, no. I think I got a measure. I can get here and within 30 feet of everyone who is either on deck or on the water, so I will cast Water Walk.
Okay. Casting water walk on them?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So they cannot sink if they choose not to sink. However, the waves are very tall and it is still rough. All right. Anything else, Islaren?
I grab hold of the rope to at least like keep the others from getting, or to at least try to keep the others from getting pulled out even further.
You can hold the rope. Sure. Let's roll your athletics check. You managed to hold the line so it cannot extend further than where it's currently at.
Imagine pulling them in would take my action, so
Right. But at least you can brace the rope. Understood. Ayla, you're down below decks.
Yeah, but I have my whatever you call it, my ship legs.
Your sea legs?
Yeah, my sea legs.
Did you roll your athletics check?
I did when we first
Oh, okay.
when they first flipped the boat.
Yeah, I thought you had failed with a 1.
No, that was another time.
Oh, okay.
When we did the yeah, that's when I got thrown up against the
Against
side
the
of the
wall.
boat by the
Right.
first wave. When we did we were out on the deck and somebody flipped the wheel to make the boat wiggle.
Oh,
I'm the one
that's
who
different than the.
fall
That's
over.
different than the storm. I'm sorry.
Okay, so do I need to do that again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Well, let's give it a try.
Yep. Athletic check, please. The 16. You're falling prone once again.
Yep, I'm still down here. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Not hard enough to get hurt, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right. The storm is going to wash, and fortunately, the captain here and Aowen are connected by the rope to Islaren, so cannot be dragged outwards. However, Kiki, the storm is going to try to push you away, and how many spaces is it going to try to push you away from the ship? It's going to move you 7 spaces away from the ship.
That's a lot of spaces.
It is. Okay. And we're going to try to grab a hold of you. And with his other hand, he's going to try to reach out and grab a hold of you. The captain is. And he has to beat an 18 with this. He grabs a hold of you, Kiki. You are not washed away. All right. Aowen. You're being held by the captain in one hand. Kiki's in his other hand. He's got a rope. What do you want to do?
Just to be safe, I'll also grab into Kiki.
Okay. You're also going to grab onto Kiki. All right. Cool. Anything else?
I don't think there's anything else I can really do from here.
Okay. Zenser is going to look at you. Hold on to our friend. And with his other hand, he's going to let go of Kiki and start pulling himself towards the ship along the rope. So we're going to roll his athletics check. He does not get any closer to the ship. Twilight, you're in your hammock. Covet, you're in a hammock.
Another hammock.
Do I hear anything going on upstairs?
Not over the wing of your people.
I'm not weeing, I'm groaning. I've been bounced off
Taylor,
the
that
wall
is the best
many
line of the day.
times.
I am not weeing.
I'm groaning.
Oh.
That's going on my foot walk.
We
I
against the wall.
I think Ayla's seasick. Should
Oh.
we get her a bucket?
Yeah.
No bucket needed. No bucket
But-
needed.
Is there anything that's occurring above deck that is allowing us to know what's going on while we're below deck?
Lauren is not shouting at the moment. She shouted one time, man overboard, and that's all she shouted. So, no?
I don't hear anything at all. Except wee!
All right. So, Kiki, the floor is water. What would you like to do?
The floor is water. I am going to do my best. So I think what I'm going to do is try to help with the rope. So I'm going to try to move to
You're going to try to move us closer? All right.
Yeah. And then I'm going to try to pull everyone closer. So
Please roll an athletics check. Got to beat an 18. With a 20, you can move us 15 feet towards the ship.
Amazing.
Awesome. Cool. You pull us right next to the ship. We're not on the ship yet. Would you like to use your dash to try to get us up onto the ship?
Yeah. Can I
It's
do
another
another
athletics check. Yes, sir.
Another athletics, yeah.
Unfortunately, you did not get us onto the ship. Almost did, but not
Yeah.
quite.
Got up to the top, but then
Yep. Just not quite over the side. Lauren, if you don't get them onto the ship, they're going to bang into the side, all three of them. Need you to roll your athletics check, please, Lauren? Lauren, unfortunately, you were unable
sure,
to
I
heave
won.
the three of them over the side.
Is Lauren making any type of announcement or a request for assistance or anything?
I mean, she's just grunting, trying to pull. So yeah, she's
I can't
no,
hear
no way
the
that
grunting and the exertion of effort over the storm while I'm being tossed about in a hammock.
So, unfortunately, you do not hear
Yeah.
Lauren's struggle against Mother Nature. All right.
Apparently, this is a theme
Alright.
for the last few campaigns.
Just yesterday and today. Because you guys are in the same area. Have to be consistent.
Ah.
Yep. So, you guys left port on the same day. You guys are having a storm on the same day. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Ooh, we won the lottery.
At least it's not as bad as last night. Goodness gracious. All right. So, Ayla, you were below decks. Please roll your athletics check to get up and move around. Unfortunately, you roll across the ship again.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
having a
gonna
rough
be
time
black
down
and
there.
blue.
Ayla, you have to get in the hammock and then you can go wee like the rest of us.
I don't want to go wee.
I mean, it's better than rolling on the floor going, ow.
All
Well, I'll
right.
grant you that.
So, we're going to roll the storm. There's two people who are not harnessed. Eowyn and Kiki, the waves bash up against you. The captain's going to try to hold Eowyn because he does not have hold of Kiki. So, he's going to try to hold Eowyn. Eowyn, he manages to hold you because he has advantage on athletics checks. So, you're held. I need Eowyn to roll an athletics check of a DC 18 to hold on to Kiki.
Sorry, I was updating the quote wall.
All good?
Is it athletics?
Athletics check, please. Yes. All right. You let go of Kiki. Kiki, however, you said you grabbed the rope, so I need you to roll an athletics check of a DC 18 or be shoved away. So, with the 19, Kiki manages to hold onto the rope. No one is moved.
Yay!
Eowyn.
And there was much rejoicing.
Cool. Eowyn, you are still
Yay.
next to the ship, and you are going to bang into the side of the ship because you're outside of it. So, rolling 2d6. You will suffer 3 points of bludgeoning damage, Eowyn. Alright. And then it's an athletics check to hold on here at the start of your turn. of a DC 18. So
I'm
much.
great at those, aren't I?
Okay.
Oh.
So, unfortunately, you're unable to stay there. The captain tries to hold on to you and does so. You are not washed away. What would you like to do on your turn?
Yeah, come on, what's up?
Oh, you went quiet. Can you get you to speak up again?
Stick us up again.
Thank you.
Is there a way I can pull all of us up?
You can certainly try. Please roll your athletics check. Gotta beat an 18.
Oh, works for once.
Nice.
Awen, you pull the rest of your
Yay!
crew back onto the deck. The only person who is not... actually, all three of you are on the deck. Sweet. Cool. So at the start of the turn, we go to Zenser, who has a hold of you guys. And he's going to walk Kiki back towards the hatch in order to try to shove you down the hatch. Are you going to go down the hatch, sir?
I will go down the hatch.
All right.
Cheers.
Kiki comes down the hatch.
Look what the cat drug in.
Hey, where have you guys been? What have you been doing down here?
They've been
Riding up the
going-
storm. What have you been doing?
He looks
I've
a
been
little.
trying to get everyone back on the boat.
What, somebody-
They were off the boat?
Yeah, they all got
You guys-
washed over.
Nobody said anything. We didn't hear a word.
Is that why you look like you lost like 20 pounds? Is that because you're so wet? Your feathers over the
Yes.
stick to your
They're
teeny
stuck
tiny
to it.
brain? Oh my gosh!
You're supposed to stay on the boat.
Well, I mean, thank you for that. In the meantime, the guy that you wanted to like drown and make into shock bait just saved our lives.
Nobody said anything. I didn't know y'all were in danger.
You couldn't come up and look?
Why? We thought
Nobody
everything
said.
was fine.
Y'all said that y'all would be fine.
All right.
He-
Okay, do you need a towel? And she hands him. She hands Kiki like her blanket
Okay,
because he looks pretty wet.
sure.
Maybe my towel.
Yeah,
too.
he'll wrap himself up in that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Do they need assistance up there? Do they?
Everybody's back on board now, so I think they're okay, but it's probably not a bad idea to check.
Twilight will go up and see, not going all the way up on board of the top deck, but will at least peer through the hatch and say, "You guys all okay up there?"
The captain looks at you. They're fine, but I'm trying to get the last one under the hatch. Awen will be down soon.
Okay, and he'll go back to his hammock. They're fine. Sharkbait said that there was no issues.
But wait, who else is up there with his Lauren with him?
Awen.
But Awen's about to come down here.
And it's what it is.
They could.
You told me to leave the dude alone.
I'm not leaving her unguarded.
Okay.
Well, evidently, everybody decided that they were going to take a swim in the middle of a squall.
All right. Covet, what would you like to do?
I am looking. Hold on. Okay, I'm reading something. Hold on.
Okay.
You're taking a break to like read one of the romance novels?
No, I'm trying to make sure that this will actually work.
So we're not putting together IKEA furniture right now. We're not taking tab A and inserting it into slot B.
No, that happens when we fade to black.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
quick
gonna leave that
question.
alone.
Quick question.
Does that
Quick
qualify
question,
Twilight as tab A?
Oh boy.
No, the response to tab A is damn.
Okay. Covet?
Shadow spawn? Does that actually? Can a shadow spawn actually hold or help in sort of way in this sort of thing, like actually physically touch things, or is it something like a just?
Try which one?
Because like if I can send that thing up there to help them, but also at the same time guard Islauren, I would love to do that.
There's a chance.
Because I don't want her up there alone with him.
Sure, we can find out.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so she opens the hatch just a little bit and is like, "It's Lauren, I'm sending some help out there." And she, don't be surprised, don't be alarmed. And there
Never
she
have
casts
said
Shadow
without the need for
Spawn.
alarm.
All right.
I've never done this one before, so you've never seen it. I just want to make sure you understand that this is part of it. And cast summon Shadow Spawn.
Awesome. This is gonna be great. Let me grab that real quick here.
Same thing to you, Captain. This is something that I'm putting out there to help out.
Cool. So you put the shadow spawn out there. As it appears, it writhes out of your hands like shadows crawling across the floor. It expands outwards to be a humanoid shape that crawls outwards along right past the captain and onto the deck. It's crawling, not walking. It's terrifying.
What the hell is that thing?
Covet, where would you like it to be?
It's a. I would like it to be here next to Islauren in a protective stance.
Is it fury, despair? What kind of shadow spawn is it?
This is technically just a shadow spawn. It's called the Shadow Spirit.
Yeah. When you cast a spell, you choose an emotion: fury,
Oh,
despair,
yeah.
or fear.
Which one? Which of the three?
Is this fury?
I think yes, it's fury.
Okay. So it angrily comes up out of the cargo hold and crawls across and stands furiously next to Islauren.
And it's very protective of Islauren in particular.
Islauren, there is a shadowy creature that is streaming shadows in the wind standing next to you. You've been told this is to protect you. It looks like a nightmare on steroids.
Yeah, Islauren stands on guard. She doesn't have her trident in her hands because she's been busy with other things, so I can't pack it, but I certainly...
Okay.
Islauren openly looks a lot like this.
It's okay. I've had this spell for a while. I just haven't used it. I'm just it's my friend. It's gonna help us out if necessary. There are just some things I think you need some extra help with.
Cool. All right, Kiki. You are below decks. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Kiki is stays below deck. Is everybody okay up there? Should I go up?
I do
Or
need
they-
your
if they're
athletics
still
check
on-
because you're still haven't gotten your sea legs during the storm.
Oh, that's right.
So with the 12, you go rolling over into Ayla.
Hey,
You gotta get into the hammock.
Ayla, you are now very wet because
Yeah, well,
A
that's okay.
wet bird is just slapped into you.
It's okay. It's okay. Hi, Kiki. How are you?
How's it going, Ayla?
Drier. You should be drier.
He's basted.
Wasted.
I think he's marinated.
It's like a salt brine or something.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I'm
Oh goodness. All right. So, Islarin, what would you like to do at the start of your turn?
Um, I need to figure that out. Okay. I think order of operations here. And I can't cast Shield of Faith and Guidance.
Right. You do know that Eowyn currently is not harnessed and will need to make an athletics check at the start of his turn.
Yep. Haven't shouted the warning, so I am not taking my eye off of the Shadow Spawn, but my first priority will be to get Eowyn as secure as possible. So,
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab hold of Eowyn, just and I'll cast guidance on myself
Okay.
to hold on, just in case. Actually, I'll cast guidance on Eowyn. I think it's
You're going to cast guidance on Eowyn? Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So that's your action.
Yes.
Sweet. Anything else? You going to go back to the ship's wheel?
For that I am I'm actually gonna move around Shadow Spawn and just grab Eowyn from here.
Okay. Grabbing hold of Eowyn there. Gotcha. Ayla,
Yep.
please roll your sea legs. Ayla, you and Kiki go sliding across the bottom of the deck to the other side.
Again.
At least you're below decks and not falling in the water.
That's kind of
Could
what
be
my
worse.
thought was.
I can confirm falling into water is not very pleasant.
It is not.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Could I cast, because it's 30 feet, I measured it.
Yeah.
Could I cast Mage Hand to just steady the wheel?
The wheel, you can't see the wheel from below decks because the hatch is closed.
I've got.
Oh, you've got it open. Okay.
Yeah, because so I can
Sure.
watch
Yeah, you can do
what's
mage hand
going
to
on
steady
without
the
being
wheel.
on deck.
Sure.
I just thought if it could just steady it.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
All right, there we are.
All right. Can I get your survival check? Because I don't think you're trained in water vehicles. So just a survival check. So with an 18, you're able to steady the ship using mage hand.
Yay.
Good job. All right.
Wanted to do something.
She's standing next to Covet, and she kind of gives her a high five.
I thought Covet was in the hammock. Oh, she got it out of the hammock. Right. Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, she's out of the hammock. She's standing next to Ayla on the little ladder going up on the that leads up to the hatch.
Understood.
And they're both looking out the hatch.
Cool. So you're not in a hammock. Understood. Eowyn, at the start of your turn, I need you to roll an athletics check with DC 18. Or get washed overboard. You managed to get your sea legs. You may act as you so desire. Do you wish to go below decks?
Once.
You're going to stay up here? Okay. You will not be washed over the side as you've got your sea legs. And Zenser is going to smile. I think we've got it now, ladies. Thank you. And he will take his soaking form and close the hatch securely in order to ensure that you guys are fine. And he's going to come around this side so he doesn't tangle himself with the rope. And he's going to take a hold of the wheel. And we can go ahead and exit initiative as everyone is safe. All right.
Still without taking my eyes off of the shadow spawn, I will open the hatch slightly and out. Dismiss your thing of it.
Only if you're not going to be up there with him alone. Is Awen still up there with you?
Would rather be up here alone than up here with that.
I can bring it to the other side of the ship if you are not just so you are not up there alone.
Still think we need to talk about shark bait.
You know,
I do not trust him.
I'm
But-
up here, so it should be fine.
Only because Awen is up there with you. And I will snap my finger and stop concentration on the shadow spawn. And by the way, his name is Sydney.
Is it
That's not creepy whatsoever.
Yeah.
How was that?
His name is Sydney Shadow Spawn.
Sydney the Shadow.
Sydney Shadow Spawn. Sydney Shadow Spawn. That's his name, Sydney. He likes to be called Sid for short.
Is no one going to acknowledge what the soundboard just made?
Oh,
Oh, I acknowledge it. It is totally creepy, and it creeped me out, so I'm not
What is
acknowledging
the
it.
sound,
at the same time.
Awen, that you reference?
Twilight Square.
At that point,
I didn't hear
Helmet in
anything.
real life swats Twilight in real life across the back of the head. Just for
Y'all are
Awen.
hearing things.
She does it again. You're welcome.
So, as you guys manage to go ahead and ride the rest of the storm out, you guys are able to pass the entire night just fine. Now, those
Don't you
on
hit 'em on the
deck
ass?
through the storm, people on deck, the captain, Eowyn, and Islarin all gain a level of exhaustion.
you guys must have time.
Y'all look beat. You too, Captain
He's going to come
Cranston.
over and he will wearily untie himself and ask, Lord Twilight, will you please take the wheel so that my lady and my associate here and myself can take a rest?
How much is it worth to you?
He looks at you,
Oh gosh.
turns, and will go back to the wheel.
Twilight, he was just asking a favor.
Twilight. Come on now. For Islarin. If not for myself.
I'll go to the wheel, but y'all better secure him while I go. I'll secure him while
He's so exhausted, I don't think we're gonna have a problem. Do you want me to cast Sid again to watch him?
That would be amazing.
There goes my
No,
second
you got
spell
one
slot.
more. No, you got.
Okay, there goes my first spell slot.
Okay.
Are you okay with this, Cranston? I won't make it so scary. So you can
He looks
actually
at you.
have.
I have
You know,
seen
decent
worse
dreams.
in the world. As long as you wish it not to harm me, I
Is-
take no offense.
It will not harm you unless I direct it.
Can it eat its dreams?
Does anyone need healing?
Everyone got a long rest except for you, the captain, and Islarin. And I think you're the only one who's slightly injured.
Oh, okay.
No, I got injured when I hit the wall and rolled a 1.
Okay. Yeah, but you're
But it was
below.
only like
You got
2
a long
points.
rest, so you should have
Oh,
been
okay.
healed.
Is it a new dawn?
It is a new dawn.
It's a new day.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So
you're gonna
so with
summon
that,
Sid again?
Yes, I
Awesome.
summoned Sid, and Sid is doing the. It has the. That is so creepy. Okay, has the has fear being shown.
Okay. Cool.
Over the dude.
And he is like if there's a room that he is in that Cranston is in, he is in the corner watching
Sure.
and waiting for my direction
Sure. He just
if
gets
something
into a
should go
hammock.
amiss.
He pulls his tricorn hat over his face and will fall asleep. Twilight?
Just to make him sweat a little bit to see what he would do, she makes Sid scream, but not harming him, just a noise.
He's going to he's going to sleep right through it.
I have never hated a soundboard so much.
What's the spell save DC on that screen?
He's immune to being frightened, which is
No.
so much fun.
Oh my.
Okay. Okay. Covet takes note. He's not scared, which
He's
is
not
very
scared.
disconcerting.
Yeah. He told you he's seen worse things out on the seas.
My water vehicle roll was 24.
Very good. You are able to drive the ship. Do you continue driving towards the Protectorate, or do you head in a different direction?
I adjust the course to whatever guidance and direction that we had discussed with Isloran while we were still at Nausha.
Okay.
Based off of where our current nautical navigation projection
Sure.
is.
So you do your navigation check, you check your sextant, your compass, etc., and get everything all set up with the charts, and you will stay on the course that he had set for you. You are going in the right direction.
And you see Twilight roll his eyes and go,
And rumbles just a little.
Indeed. 100% valid to be annoyed at this guy.
Ewan's taking a long rest below deck, right?
You can, if you choose to.
Yeah, I think he should.
Okay. So Eowyn will go below decks and hop in a hammock and get some rest. Islarin?
Lauren will do the same, but first, we'll talk to Covet.
Okay.
You. Hey,
You know,
what's up, my friend?
I fear the things that you summon more than I fear him.
Okay, that's fair. That's completely plausible. I do summon some scary stuff.
Yeah.
However, I will stand firm that I will not leave you alone with him. He is, number one, a cad and a rake. And number two,
That's saying it nice.
he has desires to take profit off of you. And he may, based off the books that I have read, he may be halfway an up and up guy. But it doesn't mean that a person can't change for the betterment of themselves in regards to profit. And I see how much of that also stands by myself, but and what I and the things that I'm learning. But I'm doing my best and taking my taking the advice of my friends. But in turn, I'm not going to let my friends be taken either. So
Fair, and you are right to be distrustful of him, suspicious of him. Motives are not aligned with ours. Motives are not aligned with what is good. And yet, it should simply underscore a great deal of concern I have for the power that you wield. I still fear it more.
please understand that the power I want, the power that I bring, is just to get me home and to bring balance to what is necessary. I have no aspirations of true power. I have no aspirations to rule of anything, if that is even an option. I just want to get home. And I want to prove myself worthy of Twilight and my family, in which they have unfortunately put me on this path. And the only way to do so is to, unfortunately, gain the power in which I have. Is it right? I don't know. But I trust my friends to keep me on the straight and narrow.
Only hope we do. Power is seductive, especially power that you would never consider until you know you had it. There's only one person I've ever met who wielded power similar to yours and maintained himself through the process.
Who is that? I would like to meet that person, if at all possible. Because the last thing I want to do is lose myself. I still want to be me at the end of this.
Perhaps you might meet him someday. He is my uncle, Arnis.
Real life. Do you mind typing that out? I'm typing out that name because I can't spell.
It's not an intuitive spelling anyway.
I can just paste it for you here.
Harness has power much like mine. How do you know how he came about this power?
No. He's what's secretive about it, naturally. Know that he was once in danger of eventually washing out. He was not a very capable fighter. He was assigned to a group known as the Wraith Squad, which was a collection of misfits and cast-offs that essentially was to put him out of the way. One day he went on a voyage. He returned. He was more capable than he'd ever been.
Interesting. I would like to meet him one day, if you'd allow it.
Hope you do. His I member of my family that I'm closest to. Always have been.
Then he is special indeed. That being said, we are approaching the Protectorate, and you, for lack of a better phrase, are away without permission.
Yes. Yes.
First off, one, what can we do to make this more politically okay? Because the last thing I want is for you to be taken away in chains. Forget myself, but you. What about you?
First thing that you can do is not summon those things in our territory when we are meeting with
Of course not.
anyone. And
Of course
Lauren
not.
has like almost a half smile on her face as if she meant it as a joke.
Only if you ask nicely.
Well then,
And she will.
but Vonson, I humbly beseech you that you would endeavor to use your powers to not summon your friend Sydney while we are in delicate situations politically in the Protectorate.
I will not use my magic unless necessary, but particularly I use him as an absolute last resort. I could not be on the deck with you as I am not, as you would call, seaworthy, but
If
I can help in a way through him.
I do not.
But as you know, this is the first time I've only called him, so.
I do understand your intentions, and anyway. I do not expect
That
you to
being
understand
said,
exactly how we will navigate this situation, but I will hide nothing. Will explain the gravity of what we face. We will see what happens from there.
that being said, politically, what are the customs of going to court? I know they have a court, but the Protectorate is so secretive, as they should be below the waves, to protect their culture and way of life, as anybody should in their delicate situation with their environment being as it is. What courtly things should I do when we get to that point? Because that, no doubt it will happen one way or another. What customs do I need to know of to help you and myself create a smoother path going forward?
First, the advantage that you hold is that you would not be expected to know the customs, and the perception that would create would not be one of rudeness so much as the that one grants for one who is not familiar. What we are a rather ceremonial people. The customs can be esoteric at times and complex, but if you follow my lead, you'll be fine. If, for example, there is a march, I would have us we would simply stand by, solemnly honor it, let it pass. As well, one thing that sometimes get lost is that our people gesture more vigorously than others might, simply because the sound does not always travel as well. There are parts of the ocean that are darker, so the gestures are a means of facilitating communication that one might take as more aggressive if they are not accustomed to it. People
Fair enough.
Will sometimes take their time to collect their thoughts, but they may appear to have finished speaking when they had more to say. Additionally, this is more of a means of safety than anything else, but careful of where you go if you are allowed any sort of free reign. Venturing any distance from the settlements may make it difficult to find your way to return, especially if you find yourself in darkness. And perhaps more important than any of these edicts is that my family has a pet sea cat named Stelkine. He is not to be fed when he has already had his dinner. His attempts to deceive guests in pursuit of extra treats is far too often successful.
I understand that. I have had pets that have tried to weasel their way, as we would say, into getting more of a dinner than is necessary. They're pretty good at giving you those sad eyes that will make you want to give them more.
And I have trouble resisting.
As do we all,
essentially,
because they are precious. Continue, sorry.
But essentially, as long as we go only where we are allowed and do what we are told, we'll more likely maintain the good graces of my father.
Understood. Is your father part of court? I'm assuming so. With the rank of major within the army, of course. How would you like me to like us to address him? I know some prefer sir. I know others prefer major. I know others prefer Mr. Which would he prefer?
Not certain what he would prefer from outsiders, but either Major or Lord.
Ah, Lord. Understood. Is there a particular color that they prefer us to wear? I know that seems kind of silly, but in Tatiana's court, that was huge. We had to wear white and silver the last time I was there. And if you didn't wear that, they would actually bring you clothing that would, quote unquote, do. Though it was never fashionable. It was always kind of a thing to make you look ridiculous on point, as that is what Tatiana would expect. Are there colors? Because I brought a vast array of colors to, for courts, but I don't know what your court would prefer.
Most fashionable are your blues, greens, purples, and even whites.
The good thing I brought a
Although,
white dress.
although you would not be considered rude for wearing warmer colors, simply foreign, is indeed the case.
That may be true, but a true diplomat would know their post. It is much along the lines of what you would see with the... I don't know whether you've read the book, The Art of War? Know Thine Enemy. That is one of the most... May not be enemy, but definitely know whom you are with. It's not just for battle, but it's for everyday life, including and not limited to the court. So, just wanted to make sure that I know what to expect, so I may make the best impression possible. For that is what was taught me by my mother and father in the court of Tatiana in Ashelian.
Suspect that my mother would get along with your family.
That would be lovely. For if she is anything like you, I know we will get along fabulously.
Well, that is not much the case. I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless.
Do you not get along with your family? Or is that just... Am I reading too much into it?
Cordial
And you
relationship. Unless my departure has changed things, we do not hold any sort of ill will for each other. I love my family. It is simply not a warm relationship, apart from with my uncle.
The fact that your father put a bounty on your head concerns me greatly.
I will
Is that
extend
because
to
you
him the
left?
benefit of the doubt that perhaps he feared for my safety and simply wished for my return. Unless proven otherwise.
Is he a very militant man? I mean, major,
Absolutely.
of course. Army, of course.
Absolutely. Very, very disciplined, very straightforward in his dealings. He will expect that his instructions are followed without question and without hesitation. Very fair, but very...
He said that.
So he is fair. He's fair. But yet he expects his orders to be followed, just like pretty much any other officer in any Army, Navy, Marine.
Daylight home and I wanna go home.
We then Sid over to smack him across the back of the head.
Twilight, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Twilight, you're afraid of the damn Sid.
Wow. Okay. With that, not realizing what she had just done, she makes Sid go away. Sorry, my love.
Bet.
You started it.
Waiting to do.
Daylight home and I wanna go home.
I'm gonna hit you. Forget Sid. Okay. That being said, is there anything else that we need to know about your family? Are you the only child, or do you have siblings?
The only child. I four living grandparents, parents, my uncle. That is who we have.
You are not alone. I understand more than you know. There is much expectation with being the only child, particularly being the only female child. You have to prove your worth.
Everybody now, I broke his back with sheer exhaustion. Daylight.
Can someone shut Twilight up, please?
I'm trying, seriously.
Lift 2, hand 4, hand 6, hand bun.
Oh my!
Daylight come and
You still have Sid. Put
No.
Twilight in a chokehold or
I'm
something.
gonna recast him.
Gonna recast him.
Oh, you got a fly.
No, hold on, I got a SWAT. And she recasts him right next to Twilight and swats him upside the head. And it's Fury this time.
I thought Lauren just told you to leave that thing alone.
With everybody else, not you.
So you are
Anything
frightened
else you
of the
wanna say?
Twilight.
It's no longer fear, it's the other version.
It's Fury. Cool. Yeah, no, it gets the ability to frighten people regardless. It's just when it has frightened you, it then has an advantage on attack rolls against you. If it's Fury.
Never mind. It's there.
Despair? Okay.
It's gone. It's gone.
Okay. Which means
While
that...
Covet is doing this,
Uh-huh.
Thorn will slip out of the room and head to recorders.
Okay. Islarin, roll an insight check, please. With a 15, the captain is down in the cargo hold in a hammock, leaving the captain's quarters for you.
I believe Twilight already claimed it, so I would not disrespect that claim.
Okay.
Has been made lawfully by the ironclad and well-tried legal system of Dibs.
Good
Though
line.
I don't know that dibs was actually called, though I will say occupation is possession, and possession is 9/10 of the law.
It was de facto called, even if not de jure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I would just find like regular quarters.
Cool. So you go down and get in a hammock.
Then you can say we.
All right. So as Islarin beds down to take a long rest, the captain is across the hull in a nearby bunk. Our friend Eowyn, are you also taking a long rest today?
Yeah.
Okay. So Islarin, captain, and Eowyn are sleeping today. Twilight has been established as sailing the ship very well in the same direction and is singing quite well as he rolled a 26 on his performance check. Which means that anyone who is conscious now has earworms of music provided to them specifically by Twilight.
It's okay. Kevin doesn't have issues with this, considering she's lived with this for a long time.
Gotcha.
Ayla's just getting used to it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Kiki, are you used to the singing?
Kiki's trying to do a little soft shoe to go along with it.
Awesome.
We figured that
I love Kiki so much. This is amazing. With that, Covet walks over to Kiki if he's on deck, or if he's up in Kiki's nest. She'll pull out like her little bowl that she has in her traveler's pack, and puts it down on the mast next to it, and just throws in like a silver piece.
even though he's like falling over his own legs, he's very appreciative and feels more confidence now that he's gotten a little silver piece there.
Awesome.
Yay!
Cool. So you guys will spend the rest of the day sailing northwards into the depths of the Schnozen Protectorate. As you guys get further and further away from land, you will lose sight of it completely. There is nothing
I've
ahead
lost
of you.
sight of land completely.
Got one job on this ship. So, as you guys continue, it's going to be a delightful day. The wind is at your back, sailing forwards. Are you trying to avoid anything specific, Twilight? Or are you simply sailing ahead in the direction you were directed?
So, based off of the other sailing engagements that we've been a part of, the multiple times that we've crossed the skirts of the Protectorate waters, the information that we'd received from Islarin as well, I am not trying to be overt in our crossing of the areas. I am trying to get there as expeditious as possible. But I am not really trying to make ourselves a target.
Cool. So can I get a... So you're not overtly trying to do anything, you're just cruising.
Yeah, maximizing speed, trying to get this thing over with, but he's also dwelling on how he can still profit from this particular situation.
Understood. Cool. Well, on the horizon, there is a vessel. You can see it in the
Guys,
distance.
there's a vessel on the horizon.
Got one job on this ship.
And we're back.
Can I get a perception check, sir?
Yeah, of course.
With an 11. From this distance, you can't tell what kind of vessel that is. It's backlit against the soon-to-be setting sun. It looks black, but only because of the lighting. Do you wish to go towards it? Avoid it? What would you like to do?
Is it on a potential intercept course?
Potential. Not intentional.
I will attempt to avoid, but I don't want to sacrifice more speed than what's necessary.
Very well. Cool. So I'm going to roll their perception check of your ship. And we're actually rolling interest. So 1d20, I've got to beat an 11 to be interested in your ship. With a 14, the ship will turn in your direction.
I will attempt to gain additional speed to put more distance between us and them.
Okay. As you do so, I need an insight check, sir. The 12, that ship is going to be able to run you guys down. It is vastly faster than yours. And it's enormous.
Does it have a flag?
It does. Can you roll your perception check? Because right now it is backlit by the western sun. With an 18, that is a protectorate vessel. And it looks like this.
Ooh, big ship.
Big, big ship.
Not a man of war.
So-
That's a big ship on
I
the
will
thing.
ask Covet to make sure that she has secured our passenger for transport.
She raises an eyebrow.
I think they'd be interested in somebody that has kidnapped the daughter of the protectorate. Make sure he's gagged and potentially tarred and feathered.
If I do that, it's going to be against
He said not to
Lauren
harm him.
Will.
Said nothing about making him a scapegoat.
Tar and feather will kill him.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it does. It's hot tar.
Fine, we'll save the tar and feather for the after party.
I will go down to Islara.
Going down to Islaren?
Yes, and explain that there is a protectorate ship. We know that the captain next door is probably our best bet. However, Twilight kind of wants to tie him up and ball gag him, kind of thing. I'm not opposed to that because he kidnapped you and drugged you. And me and everybody else. But it's your call.
He certainly deserves it, but I do not think it would serve our purpose.
I was afraid you'd say that.
From their perspective, is awfully attempting to collect us.
Twilight's gonna be really put out by this. I'm just saying.
If
Twilight's gonna be very put out by this.
he chooses to be upset with me, then that is a choice I can live with.
Yeah, just
You
make
can
it
tell you
sound
can
better for me.
my idea.
It's still gonna come back and bite me in the butt. I'm never gonna hear the end of this. All right, but that's what you want, so I'm gonna respect it. Ooh.
I'll go over to
All right.
wake up Cranston.
Okay.
As
You're
long
gonna
would
wake
never
up
call me Captain.
Zenser Creston?
Yeah.
Alright, you wake him up. As you approach, I heard. And he tips back his tricorn hat and smiles. Thank you. Gags are not my favorite thing.
Cabot's leaning against the wall outside the open door, just watching the exchange.
However, I do know a sailor in Nausea who is more of a fan of them. So, do we know the name of the vessel?
Look at Covet.
She walks over to Twilight. Do we know the name
Ayla
of the ship?
identified it.
Ayla, do we know the name of the ship?
Pass the buck. Pass the buck. Pass the
I
buck.
know. I can see the flag, but the name is in shadows. I can't tell what it is.
Let us go up to the deck. It is highly inefficient to communicate this way.
Very well.
Agreed. I don't like being the male person. I don't like
Covet,
being
what's the name of the ship? Covet?
As you guys come on deck, your friend here smiles. Ah, this will be easy. Zenser stands proudly before you guys, and as the ship comes closer, you can see that it is called the Torrent.
That a ship I would recognize?
You would have heard of the Torrent, yes. The Torrent is a very fast vessel. It carries close to 200 troops on it, about 2/3 of them being sailors armed with bows, crossbows, sabers, etc. The other third of the military force on board are storm sorcerers. There are usually a couple of giant aquatic trolls, and the ship is captained by Captain Sadie. And I will put that name in chat for you here. Sadie Howler Smith is the name of the captain. Here you go. And you will recall why she is called Howler, and it's because of the noises that her victims make.
Not because the walls were thin.
Well, I didn't say what was going on when they were victims. So, as your friend here, Zenser, is prepared, he smiles at Twilight. With your permission, or would you rather handle the lady? And he gestures towards the ship that's approaching.
Oh, I'm not gonna jump on this grenade now. You made your bed, you lay in it.
He smiles. If only I could. And the ship is going to pull up on the right-hand side of your ship. It is keeping pace and accelerating. They're about to come right up next to you. Anything you guys want to do before you engage in conversation?
I will
I'm wondering
identify the ship and stand at attention.
Okay, standing at attention.
I will stand just behind her, but also digging through anything that I possibly could have known about famous names that she had come across in her studies.
Okay, please roll your history. Oh, 23, damn. Sadie Smith is a very accomplished naval commander, has been running the Torrent for the better part of 10 years, and is one of the most loyal and enforcement operated chosen protectorate captains that the shore people are familiar with. She is fair, but exceedingly law-abiding. So you must be very cautious with everything you say, as she's going to hold to the letter of the law. She is, for all ostensive purposes, the face of the protectorate to the people of the shoreline.
After that being said, she looks at everybody and says, "Okay, guys, I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's like naval commander. She's, basically she reiterates everything that she remembers. She's been part of the Torrent. She's commanded the Torrent for the better part of 10 years. She's loyal and enforcement operated. She's fair, but pretty law-abiding. So everybody watch your words, because
I wonder if she'd be interested about a drugging and a kidnapping.
I don't know if she would see it that way, or as in, I don't know if she would see it the way of us, but at the same time, she could be. I don't know. But she is very much the face of protectorate, and we really
What do you
need
think,
to,
Captain? How do you think she would feel as a lawful individual about the drugging and kidnapping?
Spencer smiles. Smitty and I go back a ways. This should be no big deal.
With the history, would she remember whether whether a book was written about Cranston by Smitty?
Oh, absolutely
Smith?
not. And based off of what he's already said about, he wishes he could get into that bed, there's no way. The rumors of Captain Smith are that she is a absolute professional in her duties. So you're coming up with a military member. That's what you've heard. One interesting
are the
thing
rumors
is
true?
there's never been a depiction of her appearance. No description of the way she looks.
Twilight still debates on whether or not he wants to give an earworm to this shark bait.
Covet, hearing what Cranston says, and then looking at his Lauren and the way, very objectively, but with the way that she looks, and thinks to herself, well, he must be killing himself trying to get in that bed, because if she looks anything like what Lauren does, she would not be hard to miss.
And that's when you guys the ship pulls up even with you, and standing amid decks, looking proud, Sadie Smith stands there.
They do look
Ahoy!
like
They look like father and daughter.
Your friend here looks at you. Shut it. You'll get us killed. My lady? And he bows, twirling and doffing his tricorn hat. My lady, I am on a retrieval process. I trust that we will be allowed to continue on our way. Please? She looks... This is an inspection. captain. She looks over at Islarin. I see you have a renegade aboard your ship. A stolen vessel, obviously. What do you have to say for yourself? He's going to step forward. My lady, I put myself at your most prudent discretion. I have guided Lady Islarin Shonazath so that she will return back to the Protectorate and to her father. I am simply an escort to ensure that they arrive safely through all the dangers that the seas provide. Will you allow us passage? The woman looks at Islarin, who is standing at attention. Major daughter, are you willingly with this man? Or should I take you into custody myself, in chains, and return you as you deserve back to the Night Spire?
And willingly sailing back the Night Spire with this man.
She looks at you. And the rest of these people are your crew? The captain...
They are, ma'am.
She turns and looks at you. Interesting. The captain bows, arms wide. As said, I serve but as a guide and a returner of those who are missing. Please allow us passage. She looks at the rest of the crew. Are you all going to the Night Spire?
Wherever Islarin goes, I follow.
That goes for me too.
And I as well.
Eowyn?
I really think it's a good idea to split up, so I would go as well.
Okay. Twilight?
I have helped ensured her safety over these last couple of weeks. I don't see why it should stop now, despite present company.
She looks at the rakish man before her. Very well. I trust that you will maintain a straight course and not deviate to either side. Do be cautious. The migration of the water leapers is underway. I'm sure you will run into them at some point before you reach the Night Spire. You have 2 weeks of travel before you arrive. Is there any assistance that the crew of the Torrent can provide?
We have no armaments on the vessel to defend ourselves.
Good. You are not licensed for any. You'll be categorized as a merchant vessel, courier class, simply escorting one person. You are nothing more than a taxi. You should not have armaments. Your escort here is capable enough. We've dealt with him in the past. Best of luck and fair seas. I will have one of my inspectors board your vessel and inspect it. One of the storm sorcerers will crackle with lightning before appearing on board your ship. They go over to the cargo hold and go below decks. With your passive insight, you know that you are expected to remain on deck and let the inspector do their work. They're going to go through all of your foods, all of the possessions of all the lockboxes down below deck, all the closets, everything. They're going to go over the ship very closely. As you spend some time up on deck, the woman will talk to the rest of her crew and turn away from your ship for a few moments, giving you a moment to discuss. Anything you guys wanted to say to each other while the inspection's going on?
It's Lauren. Is all this okay with you?
Yes. We have nothing to hide.
What's the Night Spire?
We have no idea what's below deck since he probably stashed stuff there while we were unconscious.
And what about these water leapers?
I will send the water leaper to you here. Oh, Slara knows
Yeah,
about these.
that is definitely a question.
There you go. You would know all of that information about them.
And how is the Night Spire spelled? GM.
It's one word.
Just want to make sure I'm spelling it correctly. Oh, I was still off. Dang it. Okay.
Water leapers are amphibious winged creatures that both fly and swim, that will attempt to bite you, grab hold of you, and eventually swallow you. And for that matter, sting you with its poison.
And we have 2 weeks of additional sailing?
Continuous, Lauren. I'm sorry.
If you do happen to be bitten by one, I would recommend extricating yourself from it with immediacy.
Like what?
Is there an antidote or?
Do you treat it like a jellyfish
I
thing?
suppose. No, I mean, I suppose. Oh. It is not so much the sting, although the sting is nasty, and I would not recommend that either. However, if it is able to bite you, its jaws can open quite wide and swallow you whole. There is an antidote to that as such. It is simply to strike it as often and as hard as possible until it is forced to regurgitate you, but I am told it is not a pleasant experience.
Well, I would
Regurgitation does
not.
not sound good.
Sex exfoliating.
That sounds better than digestion.
Islarin, you've been granted inspiration by our Twitch chat.
Thank you, Twitch chat.
As the inspector comes up from below decks, they're carrying a small box. You don't know anything about this box.
Twilight looks at so-called Captain Codfish. What did you put down there?
He looks at you. I did not put anything down there.
Then what is that box?
I'm unfamiliar with it, but I'm not surprised that there would be a box such as this aboard the ship. The inspector nods to the other captain. Sadie gestures for the box to be brought aboard her ship. She takes it and opens it. And walks over to the side of her ship and begins to tilt the box over to empty the contents. Does anyone want to do anything before the contents fall out of the box?
Can you see what it is?
Let's roll your perception check. It's going to be a DC 12. Twilight sees it. Covet sees it. Islar does not see it.
I'm trying to look the captain in the eye, so.
Ayla sees it. Eowyn sees it. Kiki? Kiki does not.
Kiki does not.
Nope. So as she goes to dump the thing out, before it leaves the box, you all see the glittering of a holy symbol of MKL.
Is that of the heretic church or is it the actual church?
It's of the church from Garden Soil. So the very organized religion, the militant zealots.
Okay.
It's how the
Covet stands
ship
back and is
normally would be traced.
Covet stands back and lets it fall
Okay. Okay.
with a sigh of relief.
As it falls into the ocean, she smiles. Well, now the ship is free of that. Enjoy the rest of your journey. And she will bring out a large box from next to her. She raises it up, lifts the lid, and produces what looks like a branding iron. Walks over to the side of her ship, waiting for the swells to rise your ship towards her. The end of the brand begins glowing red hot, and she will brand your ship with the Protectorate seal. The burning wood fills your nostrils. As she pulls it away, your ship is marked as having passed inspection. She smiles. There. That's done. Be on your way and safe voyages. I have world eaters to confront. With a salute, she leaves.
I will say, actually, well, I need to think for a second about what
Sure.
the song would say here, because she would have a reaction to that. No, I think she wouldn't say anything.
Nope, okay. Yeah. So she's going to direct her pilot to take your ship away. And you guys are left with your Captain Cranston on board. Well, that could have gone much worse. Hopefully we don't encounter too many of those patrol ships going forward. You did well.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of you having contraband on this boat.
I'm not a fan of having contraband aboard the boat either. From what I understand, though, you're not a fan of mine at all.
What gave that away?
Friend Twilight, someday, I hope to win your trust.
Trust requires good faith, and I've yet to see any.
He nods. True. But I wish to assist as best I can in the return of Islarin Shonazath to the Night Spire.
Islarin was already going to the Night Spire even without your assistance.
And she would be there in chains as a rebel and a renegade without my presence. Be glad it is me who has recovered her, and not any one of the other bounty hunters who roam Toivoa seeking her. I am by far the kindest.
Which is probably the only reason you are still aboard this vessel.
He nods and reaches out a hand for a handshake.
Still unbalanced.
Are you going to stiff him? Are you going to leave him hanging?
It'd be rude.
Until such time as the effort is balanced, there will be no acknowledgement.
Very well. And with that, you guys can sail on deeper into the Protectorate. And that's where we're going to end for today. And we'll come back next week to figure out what's going on along the path. You guys have 2 weeks before you arrive at the Night Spire. It's a long voyage. Fortunately, Captain Cranston stocked the ship for 90 days. Hope you guys are having fun. And we'll come back next week for the next episode of Us Against the Gods.